Hey guys, what's going on? Your old buddy Tim back with another video for you. I want to talk today about an event that I went to recently and just a few of the things that I learned. Brought a little bit of knowledge and wisdom back with me, and I thought I would share it with you today. Hopefully you can take it and put it to work in your business and see great things. I went to John Cheplack is a world-renowned real estate coach specializing in recruiting, retention, brokerage growth, and I am in his mastermind group. And he had an event this past weekend in Nashville. Two-day event, about 115 or so of the top realtors and brokers on the planet were in this room. I don't know how the hell I got in there, but I bought a ticket and they let me in. But some real heavy hitters. There was from the world of RE/MAX, the CEO of RE/MAX was there. Super nice guy, man, to be where he is in the world and make the money he makes. But he was there. The #1 team worldwide for RE/MAX was there. The #1 team in Canada was there. The number 12 agent in the world was there. And those were just the RE/MAX folks. And this was not a RE/MAX conference. It just worked out that they were some of the heavy hitters who were there. But there were also a lot of independents there that were doing really super well. And that's really why I went, because as an independent, we are in growth mode this year, and I am trying to learn all I can from the masters on how to grow this company, how to recruit agents. We're up to 20 agents now. I hope to triple that by the end of the year. So anyway, that was the whole point of the conference, was to talk about growth, talk about our industry, training, retention, recruiting, all of that sort of thing. And I came away with what I think are some real nuggets. I knew a lot of this going in, but it was really interesting hearing some other folks who are much further along the path than I am kind of confirm what I already thought. The #1 thing, I think, the consensus across the board, and we all know this, is our industry is changing. Real estate is changing on a daily basis. I mean, primarily you're looking at an industry that has kind of been done the same way for decades and decades and decades. Real estate transactionally has changed very little. However, our industry is changing on a daily basis. The way that property is listed and marketed and sold and transacted, it's just changing on a daily basis. And if you don't change with it, if you don't adapt, you will die, at least as far as your real estate career. It's like, I was in the software business for many, many years, had a company, and one of the things that always fascinated me was whatever we were creating today would probably be obsolete 6 months down the road. And real estate is the same way. The industry is changing with the Zillow coming on, Realtor, iBuyer, all of the big companies. They are changing the way it is done on a transactional basis. We're changing the way that folks are marketed to, recruited to, from step one through the entire finished thing. We are a changing industry, and if we don't change with it, we will get left behind. As far as growth in brokerages, one of the top things that was talked about a lot was the need for systems and procedures in a brokerage. You know, a lot of brokerages, ours included over the last year or so, it's kind of been the Old West. We've just been doing, whatever works, whatever we could do to get a deal, whatever we could do to get money in the bank. Well, a lot of, and I'll be honest with you, I have no problem sharing this with you, over the last year or so, I have kind of run this business out of QuickBooks and an Excel file. And so one of our New Year's resolutions, if you will, is the implementation of systems like Total Brokerage, Boomtown, and a couple of others we are putting in place to help us manage not only the brokerage itself, but to manage the marketing, the branding, the lead generation, the tracking of transactions, tracking of leads, everything. And so I think that's one of the lessons that I brought back, was it's very important to have these systems and these processes in place, But because it not only helps the brokerage grow, it helps new agents as they come in the door adapt and onboard and get on board with what we're trying to do. So that is one of my goals for this year, is to really focus on getting those systems and processes in place. Another thing was this, and I think this is really super duper important. I'm going to circle it. And that is this: culture matters more than money. And I know that may sound counterintuitive in a business like ours, where everyone's livelihood revolves around the commission check. But what is being proven on a daily basis around the country is, if you want to grow a brokerage, it's all about the culture, and that culture comes from the top down. Okay, you cannot have a culture of growth if the guy or the gal at the top of the pile is anti-growth, or does things where that are not beneficial to the brokerage, does not create a culture. Cheplak says this all the time: people leave bosses, they don't leave companies. And it's up to you, the boss, to help set the culture. Like, for example, at Revolved Realty, we're very family oriented. We always have been. This company was started by me and my daughter, Chelsea. So that's one of the things we stress a lot, is the family dynamic of this business. We've all got kids, we got grandkids, we got dogs, we got lives, and our lives do not revolve around this job. It's just not going to happen. Okay, this is how we make our living. This is not our life. And so I think it's very important that you establish a culture where it's, number one, inviting to new recruits. I mentioned that we are in recruiting mode, and one of the things we talk a lot about to recruits is our culture and that sort of thing. So culture matters. Okay, it's not only about the bottom line. And again, this is one of the things that I'm coming to understand, is it's not about commissions and not about splits with everyone. It's a lot about culture. It's another thing Cheplak says, people who come to your brokerage for money will leave for money. There's no loyalty in there. So that's why it's important that you build that culture where agents can come in and learn and grow and thrive. So part of something that goes along with that is your training and support. There was a lot of talk about bringing in agents, getting them set up, giving them training, giving them everything they need, the tools, the software, the support, the mentorship that will carry them through day one all the way through their career. And so, again, it's one of the things we're doing. We're implementing a lot of training here, a lot of in-class training, as well as a lot of online training. It's one of the things I don't think that people really have the time to come and sit in a classroom, so we're going to try to make all of our training available online when they can take it themselves. So that's very important as well. This one has always been a big one with me as an old entrepreneur. If you are a real estate agent who is doing it full-time as a career, then you must be an entrepreneur. You must create, or you must treat your real estate agency, if you will, like a business. You are an entrepreneur. You're not just a real estate agent. Okay? You're not just a 1099 agent who's out there buying and selling houses. If you're doing it the right way, in my opinion, you are doing it from an entrepreneurial point of view, where you are creating and building your business. If I was a single agent and not the owner of the brokerage, I would create an LLC, and all of my income, my commissions and everything would run through that LLC. I would get the tax breaks of it. I would approach it as a business. Now, one of the things that most agents do not do pertaining to thinking about it as a business is they don't do their own marketing. They don't do their own advertising. They rely too heavily on the brokerage for that. Now, here at Revolved Realty, we do a ton of marketing, branding. I am that obnoxious Facebook guy. We do a ton of videos. We do a lot to get noticed as a company. But what I encourage my agents to do is you have to brand and market yourself. It's not enough for you to just feed off of what I do. You need to learn to do all the marketing and everything. And that's one of the things we're very big here is we teach marketing, we teach how to do videos, we teach social media. But I think it's very important if you intend to be a real estate agent for the long term, you must think of it as an entrepreneur. I thought that was very, very interesting. Going along with that, the branding and marketing, someone came up with a statistic that said on average, the successful real estate agent relies on lead generation for only 20 to 25% of their business. The other 75 to 80% comes from their efforts, either cold calling, telephone, prospecting, sphere of influence, but a big chunk is from your own marketing and branding efforts. And again, that goes along with thinking of it like an entrepreneur. You really want to learn to brand yourself. And I have agents here in Revolve who just aren't comfortable doing that. You know, I'm very loud and very obnoxious and very comfortable tooting my own horn. A lot of agents are not comfortable doing this. They can't get on video and talk about themselves. They can't do this. They can't. So, you know, my thing is if you're not comfortable talking about yourself, talk about what it's like to work with you. Talk about the houses that you have listed or the houses that you have sold. However you do it, successful agents must get used to branding and marketing on their own rather than relying on the company to do it. Of course, one of the focuses of this mastermind was recruiting and retention, not just attracting the agents and getting them on board, but how to keep them. And, you know, again, this is one of the things that we're doing here. My main goal for the year is more in building the company from a recruitment standpoint than actually listing and selling homes. I'm actually backing away a little bit, but putting our focus on recruiting, I think, is going to be the best investment that we can do. And again, I keep referring to Cheplek, my coach. You know, he made the point that, you know, as the rainmaker for the company, I could focus on just getting out there and getting deals, getting transactions, or I could focus on cookie cuttering myself, meaning that I'm going to focus on recruiting agents who can then be taught to do what I do. So rather than one guy creating all of these transactions, there will be multiple guys and gals doing so. And of course, when it comes to recruiting, you have to set up that culture. You have to offer that training and support. You have to make your brokerage a place where they want to come. I think that's very important. And I say this a lot. I want Revolve Realty to be a brokerage that if you're not with us, you're crazy. Because this is the absolute best place to work from a culture standpoint, from a commissions and splits. Money's still important. You know, culture is important, all that other stuff, but at the end of the day, you're not going to make your mortgage payment by watching a video or doing that sort of thing. So money is important, but again, I think the culture, the family, the atmosphere is right up there. So talked a lot a bit about that. And one of the last things I want to mention is this, and this kind of goes along with the fact that our culture is, hello, nacho hair, that the industry is changing on such a rapid pace. One of the reasons the real estate industry is changing so rapidly now is due to technology. You look at companies like Keller Williams, RE/MAX, the big boys who are pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into tech because they understand, they're so smart. They understand that people rely on technology now for everything. People start their home search online, okay? We understand that. It's all about technology. You know, if I have an app on my phone where I can drive through a neighborhood and it will alert me as to any FSBOs that are for sale in the neighborhood. Or it will alert me to any homes that are listed in the neighborhood. I can pull up in front of a house, dial a number on a sign, and hear all about that house on my phone. Technology is one of the reasons we are changing on such a rapid pace. Now, I have heard agents, you know, kind of worried, well, I think we're going to be replaced by computers and technology. You know, I think there will always be a place for the human element. But I think that human has to adapt to technology and learn to use it to their advantage. And again, that's one of the things that we really focus on here, because I am so tech-oriented at Revolved, is really how can we use all of this wonderful technology to progress our goals in our business and serve our customers. So let me look at my notes really quick. Systems, culture, training, entrepreneurship, brokerages, industry, yada, yada, yada. It says that right there, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, there you go. That's what I learned from my weekend. It was a really great weekend. I enjoyed it. When I go to these masterminds, I kind of stand in the back and just kind of soak it up like a sponge. And this one was a good one. Looking forward to going to a next one. Hey, I hope that was helpful in your endeavors, whether you are an agent, a broker, or an owner, or all three. Like some of us. If I can do anything for you, if you'd like to chit-chat, I'd love to hear what people have to say about this sort of thing. Feel free to put some comments below and let me know your thoughts, because I would really like to know what you're thinking. Are you along the same lines as I am? Are you happy that technology is coming on so strong in our industry? Is it scary to you? And what do you think about culture? What is it do you think that agents are looking for? And if you are an agent looking for a home, what is it that you think attracts you? What does that perfect brokerage look like for you? Love to hear your comments below. In the meantime, I am going to get a nice warm beverage and go do some work. I've got some technology stuff to do. All right, that's it. I'll see you later. Have a great day.